Choosing a DAW can feel like picking a side in a never-ending debate.
Will you shut up, man?
Listen.
Today, I'll show you how Studio One, Ableton, and Pro Tools stack up. Welcome to Strums to Stage. I'm Andrew Wink. Today, we're going to dive into my favorite DAWs, or digital audio workstations. We will look at some pros and cons, and I will give my thoughts on which tasks they do the best. Let's jump in. First up is Studio One by Presonus. Studio One is designed for musicians and hobbyists who want a clean, creative space to record and produce. It stands out for its ease of use and some innovative AI features. This has been my go-to DAW lately, and I have a couple of videos where I have worked in Studio One. So check those out if you want to see more of this DAW in action. Links in the description below. My 3 favorite things about Studio One compared to the other DAWs: it has the best value for all the features you get. The perpetual license for Studio One is currently $200, or you can get a monthly or annual subscription with access to support videos and other goodies with Studio One Pro Plus. Number 2, it has integrated creative AI features, including tempo and chord detection for songs and stem separation, so you can actually separate drums, bass, key vocals, and other instruments to easily identify parts and remix them if you so choose. Its track view is also the easiest to navigate, I find. It's just so much easier to find what you're looking for. Everything stands out in a neat and organized way. 3 cons for Studio One. Number 1 is workflow can be a little restrictive for advanced users. Particularly if you're transitioning from Pro Tools or some other DAW, you're gonna find there are some features that are either missing or harder to find in places. Additionally, it's not as flexible as some other DAWs. It's meant for musicians and hobbyists who maybe don't have a whole lot of recording experience or only really need to track demos or do simple tasks. So the simplified workflow is great for that. But if you're working on bigger mixes, it can be a little bit more complicated or challenging from there. Additionally, there are some missing features in Studio One that I would like to see, particularly the ability to import time signatures from other sessions. Currently, it has the ability to import tempo changes, which is amazing, but adding time signature changes would be super helpful as well, particularly for songs that go back and forth between some time signatures. Next is Ableton Live. Ableton is used heavily by electronic music producers, beat makers, and anyone who wants to experiment with loops or software instruments. It is also amazing to use in live performances. I personally use it with my band to run our click track during shows. 3 pros for Ableton Live. Number 1, it has a massive library of stock MIDI instruments and loops. This is a creative playground for sound design and creative engineering. There's a lot of fun to dive into if you have a couple of hours. Additionally, Live's native plugins or built-in plugins are my favorite of the 3. All of them sound really good and are incredibly easy to use. And lastly, number 3, Ableton has a unique interface called Session View, which is great for quick idea building and live looping. Many other DAWs have imitated and tried their own spin on Session View, but Ableton Live has done it the best by far. Now, 3 cons for Ableton: it's very expensive for full features. Ableton Live Suite, which is the full version, is currently listed at $750. Additionally, the workflow is even less flexible for traditional recording than Studio One. And lastly, the layout is very different from other DAWs, which can be very difficult to switch from one to another. The user interface is a bit confusing to first figure out where everything is. Luckily, Ableton does have a help view in the bottom left corner, which is super handy to have. But in arrangement view, unlike most other DAWs, the track controls on the far right-hand side at the end of the track, whereas all the other DAWs have those sessions at the bottom of the screen or in another window. Ableton does have the ability to split session view and arrangement view, their track view, into 2 different windows. So that kind of helps with it, but I still find that it's a little bit off and just adds too much information on 2 different screens. Finally, let's talk Pro Tools by Avid. Pro Tools is the industry standard for recording, mixing, and mastering, and it's what you'll find in many professional studios. This was my go-to for a long time. It even helped me land a job as an engineer for a for-profit music school. The studio version currently runs about $600 for a perpetual license, or $35 per month for a subscription. So that session is priced more in the middle of the road. There's also an advanced session called Ultimate, which is even more expensive. Probably not what we need for many musicians. So 3 pros for Pro Tools. Number 1, it has powerful bus routing capabilities for advanced mixing setups. What this means is buses can be set as inputs for multiple tracks, which can be great for printing tracks for stems or creating tracks to resample and use in other ways, which is a feature that no other DAW has that I've seen. Additionally, its mixer UI is top-notch. It's very clearly laid out and easy to understand how to adjust these tracks in the mixing window. And thirdly, because it's the easy industry standard, it's the easiest to collaborate with professional studios, as you can literally share the project and files back and forth. 3 cons for Pro Tools is the steepest learning curve by far. It is so flexible that it's pretty difficult to understand for beginners, and it's the hardest to master of the 3. Number 2, its native plugins are just okay. They're my least favorite of the bunch. And additionally, they're also not Avid plugins. Avid will hire out with other companies to install their native plugins. And they sound okay for what they are. And number 3, Pro Tools uses a different plugin type. Pro Tools is the only DAW that I know of that uses the file type AAX. All other DAWs use what's called VST plugins or AU plugins if you're on a Mac. This means that not all third-party plugins support AAX, and it's going to be an additional step to set up all these plugins when you first install Pro Tools. So which DAW should you use? I'm going to break this down into 3 different use cases. We have songwriting and demo creation, recording/tracking, and mixing. So for songwriting and demo creation, my recommendation is Ableton Live. Ableton's session view is the fastest way to sketch out ideas, and it makes building and rearranging sessions incredibly effortless. For recording and tracking, my recommendation is Studio One. Studio One is going to be the easiest to set up and record with, and its track view makes managing takes simple and clear. For mixing, Pro Tools shines. Its bus routing, track setup, and mixer view gives you a ton of flexibility and power, and gives you everything you need to create a very effective mix no matter how many tracks you have. All 3 DAWs can handle every step of the music production process, but choosing the right one for your workflow will save you time and frustration. If you're a musician or a hobbyist producer looking to record your guitar parts or just create demos, Studio One is the one for you. If you create electronic music or need a DAW to use for live performances, Ableton is the one for you. Lastly, Pro Tools is for you if you are working with professional engineers or are looking for more customization and power. If you want more tips on music production or coaching to level up your skills, subscribe and join the Strums to Stage community. Thank you for being you, and I'll see you in the next video.